Disney Dreamlight Valley was a lot of fun, but I had to finish playing the game eventually because I couldn't just go on forever, because that game literally would have just gone on forever. I had to eventually end it, so I have, and replace it with something else, and I definitely wanted to do something different. I think this qualifies. It has a very different vibe and a very different style and look and everything, and that was what I wanted for the next project. So let's do this. We start with our normal boring life, when we then get hit by a car and suddenly we have a new home and also a new world too, and a new talking skull friend. It informs me that we are now the new graveyard keeper, and we head off to have a chat with a donkey who gives me a corpse. Yes, that is what happened. Anyway, we grab the corpse and dive straight into cannibalism, harvesting some meat from it before we go and bury the body. At this point, we're still learning the world, so we talk to the priest who lets us know a bit, and we're given a task to repair the graveyard. We do some fixing before we follow the other quest and head to the tavern. He won't buy our meat, which is probably good considering where it came from, but he will sell us burial, or we can sell him burial certificates, and we start working with him and the smithy a bit. I mean, don't worry if you don't understand the game yet, you're not really meant to know what's going on. What we do have to do though is get home, but obviously that can require all kinds of shenanigans, but that's our big goal, is to get home. We shall of course be documenting the shenanigans. So let's start. We start with building up a bit here, giving ourselves a proper working area and also doing some research, learning some bits. We have a lot of technologies to unlock. I will need probably all or most of those. We also meet the Inquisitor, who does want some help from us, and we will need him later, but he also needs flyers before he's any use, and we're not getting access to making those anytime soon. Fixing up the graveyard is our priority now over the next few days, and we do enough of that we can open the church and give sermons. We also have access to the basement of it now, which we need later. I also begin working on the farm and meet a man who keeps appearing in my basement. That's not weird at all. I move on to some exploring and also doing my first church service. I guess I'm now a full-on cleric. It may be obvious by now the game has a decent amount of grinding that I'm just skipping over. It's been over a week's worth of real time since I've started this, but there's not much to talk about. I mean, I'm continuing to improve the graveyard, I'm lobbing corpses into the river, normal things like that. Progress is made though now that I have the ability to study things in the church basement. That comes in handy later. The studying gives me a lot of gems, which is basically XP for learning new things. Very useful. We also burn our first corpse, which I guess is progress. It's something new anyway. But still, lots of grinding, lots of chugging, things like making pots and the like. I also start working on the church, beginning to improve it, which is a requirement for later. The work area gets expanded too, which is nice and very needed. I'd already run out of space. Start to see some real progress on the church too, although not enough. On the bright side, I managed to get Miss Charm to like me enough to talk to me. I guess that's a win. Not sure how she'll help, but let's hope. I also managed to get Snake, the weird man in our basement, to like me, and now I must study a key to let him pass the gate. Odd, but sure. I also work out where the astronomer is, which a few people have mentioned I should talk to, but alas, I get there too late and he's leaving. And of course, he won't be back for a week. Not sure why people end up leaving for a full week, but they do. As I must now wait for a week, I bide my time grinding, improving things with Miss Charm. Oh, I also built a meditation garden at some point. Probably I forgot to mention that earlier. Don't know why it exists. Seems pretty useless, but it exists. I finally get to the astrologer and he will help me as long as I give him a skull. Pretty weird, but I have a big supply of them, so I go back, grab one and head back to him, and it's too late again. That's another week. I will freely admit this part of the game winds me up, but it is what it is, and we continue progressing, advancing our crafting and making our graveyard even fancier before we can finally go and talk to the astrologer and get an achievement to boot. I'm not going for the 100% in this game because some of the achievements are already glitched and they're well known to be glitchy, but I will take the achievements when they're given. With that, we now have the key we need to study, so I study it and we report back to Snake. Progress. With that key, we unlock an area and head into it, which is a new area that seems to be devoted to torture and human sacrifice. Well now, oh yeah, we also get burned alive. But it's fine, it's a video game, we just respawn. And Snake doesn't like us for it. But apparently we're still going to help him with his weird satanic rituals. He also needs some bloody items. We get them in the dungeon, which we've now unlocked. The dungeon contains some cool bits and a lot of fighting. We spend a bit of time there, but we also go to the astronomer with his diary, which will help us to go home, allegedly. We also get to help out the Inquisitor a bit more, which I don't like him very much, but I guess he's useful. And then we head back to the dungeons. One of the things that Snake needs, and I'm level 5, so we have to get there. But I can't show you that, because the footage on that day corrupted. I can't show you level 5, which is annoying because something actually happened. Basically, I opened the chest that had the bucket of blood in it, and as I did that, my game crashed. Meaning the chest is gone, and I have no bucket of blood. Good news is though, I can actually make it. Bad news, getting that level of blood takes time. I managed to get most of what I needed by the end of the month, but not all, so that is where we have to leave it. So how have I found Graveyard Keeper so far? Well, it's definitely grindy, proven by the length of this video, considering the fact I have quite a few hours of footage for it. But it's a fun one. I've enjoyed it so far. I like making progress, and unlike when I tried streaming this when the game was brand new, I actually understand what I'm doing now, so I will definitely be continuing. For now though, I will simply say thank you for watching, and let me know what you think of this new gaming diary style. It's very much in the style of the old scripted series, but obviously I'm not doing those anymore because I am doing these sort of once a month videos, but I kind of ditched the old diary style format. I'd like to know what you think about that down below, and I'll hopefully see you very, very soon.